timing of the arm. So this is what I would call early arm raise. Okay. I'll break it down. And again, in the report, this is going to be all outlined, so I don't have to go into super good amount of detail. But we know that in order to increase our power output, we have to segment our hips and our shoulders, right? Hip shoulder separation, man. A lot of velocity comes from that. Okay. So in order to do that, it's not about forcing the move. It's not about forcing, okay, I got to get separation, so I got to counter rotate my trunk all the way over here and then throw like this. Okay. It's not that. It's just naturally sequencing your body. Okay. So what happens is our hips, we go into rotation relatively early. Okay. Rotate the hips while we segment the trunk and the arm, and then we go into arm raise as we approach front foot strike. Okay. So for you, you're going to see here that your arm gets up about 3 to 4 frames. Boom, 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 boom. 3 to 4 frames earlier than, say, again, a guy like Chapman, who just notice the path that hand is on, right? So now he's driving, he retracts, and notice how he's able to maximize. This is where it's at, dude. Maximize the timing of hip extension and arm raise, right? So we all talk about the kinetic sequence and kinetic energy. That needs to come up in time with when we arm raise, because if it doesn't, if it's early or if it's late, then we're not maximizing that sequence. So again, Chapman, as he approaches front foot strike, that's when the hand comes up, maximizes that timing, and you're just early. So again, what early is now, since you're early, you are no longer able to segment your trunk counter rotation and your hips. So now what we see is those hips and shoulders are going together, right? So your shoulder here and your hip here, they're connected. So you're not able to segment that move. Okay. And that's your biggest leakage, right? So now the arm raises early, okay? So now you're no longer able to delay the trunk from rotating. They're going to go now into rotation earlier, okay? And now when you front foot strike, you're already rotating with your trunk, okay? They're connected, and now you see here your glove side's going to fly out, and this is where you get into, as you mentioned, that kind of pushing arm action just because you're early. And now with pushing arm action comes trail leg hip flexion, right? And now you're not sequencing that lead leg as efficient as you can, because the overall sequencing of the body is inefficient. And that's why I was saying, I think if we increase our tempo, okay, increase that forward move, that will maybe increase our body's momentum and acceleration forward, which will then help delaying that arm. That's the biggest goal. So you'll actually see a video that I'll include in the report of like increasing your acceleration potentially could help aid in delaying your arm raise. But that's the biggest thing for you, is how can we get to the point where you're maximizing that timing, right, of the kinetic sequencing. So you're maximizing kinetic sequencing and you're increasing your separation, which is the one thing that you're lacking. So you'll see in this clip, right? Again, as I mentioned, the hips and the shoulders are just moving together. There's no point in which we can segment that. Let's see if we can get a good little view here. This might not be a good one. Maybe it will be. So again, hips go, right? So you see that trail hip, it's already going, and see how he's delayed that arm. So increasing his separation, a ton of separation. Gosh, he does a lot of things right. All right. Here's another one, Kikuchi. I just wanted to do it because I like saying his name. Again, delaying the arm. Watch. Where's the arm? Boom. Now it comes up. Again, I know it's tough because, dude, there's like that fine line, right? Like we were always taught, like, get the arm out on time and make sure you have good command. Absolutely, dude. But if the goal is velocity, we need to make sure that we're maximizing that kinetic sequencing, right? You probably have great command at 82, but we need to get you to 90, 92, 93. You're a lefty, so you got the advantage, dude.